what's up you guys, it's Sumi here, and today I'm going to be doing a highly requested video from a lot of you guys. I'm going to be answering your requests on how I'm learning Korean and also sharing with you guys some tips and tricks if you guys are interested in learning the language as well. I want to apologize beforehand for my raspy voice. If you follow me on Snapchat, you would know that I have had a fever for the past 2 days and I've been suffering from like constant nosebleeds. I think something's wrong with me. If I die tomorrow, you know why. I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you learned something from it, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe down below to join the Appleberry fam. Just go do it because this is a great fam to be a part of. Okay, so the first tip I want to give to you guys when just learning any foreign language, just in general, is to find a lasting motivation that will keep you continuously wanting to learn the language every day and not getting burned out like after a week of trying, because learning a foreign language is extremely difficult. And I'm not a noob at learning a foreign language. Like, I've taken 3 years of Spanish and I hated it. But then again, I don't have the same motivation to learn Spanish as I have with learning Korean, so that's why I think I'm learning Korean a lot faster. For example, I'm learning Korean for the motivation of wanting to be able to be fluent for my grandmother, who is a Korean immigrant from South Korea. Yes, I'm half Korean if you didn't know that. Her English is kind of bad, and I feel like it's almost like my job as her first granddaughter to know both the Korean language and the English language in order for her to live more comfortably and without there being so much of a language barrier. Like, I could help ease that difficulty for her. Also, I want to be able to understand K-pop songs a lot better and K-dramas, just because, I don't know, my entire life is Korea, K-pop, K-drama. You already know that. So that's my second motivation, and those two factors together, they are undying and still last to this day. So yes, go out and find a motivation for you to learn a foreign language, and when you do, then you can follow all these other steps I'm about to tell you. So when I initially decided that I wanted to learn Korean, I went out and bought myself a supplement notebook, and that is this thing. It's basically like a first grader notebook for very beginning, basic, level 1 learning Korean. It's called Yes You Can Speak Korean, and I did look on Amazon. You can buy this on Amazon. I think some of the used ones are like $18 and some of the brand new ones are like $30. It is kind of expensive, but I want to tell you why I encourage this copy. By the way, this is not sponsored. I'm just saying I really like this book. First of all, it's like super adorable. Like, it comes with like all these color pages, pictures. It's very easy to use. It's consumable. Also, this particular book comes with a crap ton of vocabulary cards, which, if you've tried learning another language before, are really helpful. This copy has at least 100 flashcards of just a bunch of random different basic things. So what I suggest doing with these vocabulary cards is to either take one and learn one solid every day. Look at it, read it, make sure you know the spelling, make sure you know how to pronounce it, look at the picture, know what it means. Learn one, only one. Or you can go through a stack of 10 every week and like have like a little vocabulary test at the end. Just like run through it until you understand what the word is, what it means, how to pronounce it, what it says. Which brings me to my next topic, which is the alphabet and all of its pronunciation. What makes Korean a lot easier to learn than, like, say, Chinese with Chinese characters and each character is its own word. Korean, just like English, just like Spanish, just like Japanese, it's phonetic and it has an alphabet. I have this little folder. This is my Korean learning folder. It's so cute. It's Hello Kitty. And then so inside, I have invested in another super cute notebook, which actually has Korean writing stencils. So instead of lined paper in Korea, they use little boxes like this. Probably when you're really good at Korean, you start using lined paper. But when you're learning, you can use like these little boxes to help you learn each syllable, because Korean, they clump each group of letters by syllables instead of writing it all out in a line like English. As you can see, back when I was super obsessed with EXO, the first thing I wrote in here was all the EXO members' names and how to spell their name. I also wrote their birthday because I was just obsessed with EXO. Try to get paper that's like this, that's in blocks. If not, if you can't find a notebook like this, literally I just went online and I looked up Korean writing paper stencils or whatever, and I found a bunch of paper that literally looks like this. Like, there are a bunch of boxes just on paper, and I used it. I printed out a bunch and I put them in a little like paper thing so I could practice the alphabet. So on the first page I wrote down the basic consonants, because in Korean there's basic consonants, basic vowels, compound vowels, and compound consonants. I wrote the name of the letter in this column, what it's spelled in Korean, and how to pronounce it also in English. So like the first letter in the alphabet is Kiok, and it looks like this. And so basically I literally wrote it like 10 times over, like over and over and over again, just to make sure I get the handwriting correct. And every time I go over the letter, I pronounce it in my head, Kiok, 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 Kiok. And so with the Korean language, there's about 14 basic consonants, and there are also 10 basic vowels. So in all, there's 24 letters. To learn the alphabet, what's been a very effective way for me is to do it in this format where I just literally write it over and over and over again and say it in my head, say it out loud, talk to yourself. You need to hear yourself pronounce this language, and you need to hear yourself say different words, pronounce the vowels, because if you don't and it's all just going off in your head, you may think it perfectly, but when you speak it, it will just sound kind of off a little bit. Of course, the goal of learning another language is to be able to converse with other people, so you need to be able to pronounce it correctly. So that is my advice to you. Write down the letter a million times. Write down examples of English words where that sound is found. So like ah, I wrote father under it. Underneath I wrote cut, because it like reminds me of like in what context I would use that vowel, you know what I'm saying? Even if you don't understand all the letters yet, make sure you write down the name in Hangul so that you kind of get a basic understanding of like what the spelling is like as well. Just do it, like it's all gonna be worth it in the end, especially when you are fluent in Korean. Google Translate is almost always gonna be off, and it's not because Google doesn't know the language, it's just because you can't put in the context of what you're trying to say into the search bar and have it translate exactly in the tone and mood you're trying to say it in. That's where the translation can get lost. Next, I'm just going to give you guys some tips on how to learn this language pretty quick and some ways to make it easier for you. So the first thing that I recommend, which you may or may not be able to do, it all depends on your situation, is find a partner that's willing to learn this language with you, because I find it's a lot more motivating to do something, whether it be learning a language, learning a sport, just doing whatever, just whatever you're trying to do. It's a lot more motivating to do it when you know somebody is in it with you. I don't know, just having them there is inspiring, because you want to make sure you're not letting them down, and you kind of like motivate each other in becoming better, you know what I'm saying? But if you can't find a partner, that's totally fine, because 저는 미국 사람, she was able to learn the language on her own. She was able to inquire online, use Rosetta Stone, which is a great program, by the way, and you guys should look into Rosetta Stone as well. Another more fun tip that I have for you guys to learn Korean better is to delve yourself in as much Korean language exposure culture as possible. So the way I'm doing that is clearly through the internet. Like, I watch tons of K-dramas on Netflix. I watch tons of K-pop related things. I listen to a bunch of K-pop music, and you can actually use those forms of entertainment to your advantage, because you can turn subtitles on and off for most videos, you know what I'm saying? And even if you don't know the lyrics to a K-pop song, you can always look up what the translations are. This has really helped me actually. Like in BTS's song I Need You, they say the lines 혼자 사랑하고 혼자 사랑이별해. I know what 사랑하고 means. It means like to love, and I know what 왜 means. It means why, but I didn't know what 혼자 meant. So what I did was look up the Korean translation. In both of those lines, they use the word alone. So 혼자 must mean alone. And what do you know? I looked it up in the Korean English dictionary and found out that 혼자 actually meant alone. So yes, in ways like that, you can use K-pop and K-dramas and entertaining things like that in helping you learn a language. By learning piecemeal by piecemeal, it really helps. But I'm pretty sure just watching K-pop and K-dramas, you probably already know what 사랑해요 means, which means I love you. That's what BTS says to their army. What the army says to BTS. You also probably know what 대박 means, which means like awesome. Congratulations, you're already learning Korean without knowing. And last but not least, the most important thing is to make sure you practice every freaking day. Do not give up, because learning a new language is extremely difficult, and when you do stumble across a time when you're struggling in learning and you feel like you're not learning as fast as you should be, just know that it's not easy for anybody. Some people learn languages fast, some people learn them a little bit slower. Everyone has their own pace, and you need to be patient with yourself and know what works for you and what you should be doing. And so basically to do that, you just need to test out all these methods, see what works best for you, but make sure you practice every day. Make sure you talk to yourself. That sounds completely weird, and trust me, you are going to sound like a crazy person half the time, especially when you're like sitting in your room all alone and you're talking to yourself in this language that nobody else in your family even recognizes. Yeah, you're gonna sound a little bit crazy, but you know what? You gotta think about the bigger picture. In the end, you're gonna be fluent in Korean, and it's gonna be totally worth it because you're gonna be that cool guy that knows a language that nobody else freaking knows. So yes, talk to yourself every day. Make sure you practice the pronunciation. Do not half-ass this. If you half-ass the learning process, you're gonna become a half-ass Korean speaker. Like, you're gonna suck, you're gonna get all the grammar wrong, you're not gonna be thorough in learning conversational or any level of Korean, basically. You need to go into this knowing what your goal is, and you need to stop at nothing until you reach your goal. And that goes with anything. That's a tip, just reaching any sort of goal. If your goal is up here, do not settle for mediocrity down here, because what's the point? Like, you're just letting yourself down in the end, you know? Do not give up, because I'm encouraging you. You have other people in the world who are struggling learning it as well. So keep your chin up, don't give up, and you will definitely get there one day. Thank you guys for watching this video and spending your time with me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you learned something, give it a thumbs up. Leave any sort of feedback in the comments down below. If you have any other advice to share with other people or to share with me, please leave it in the comments down below. And yes, don't forget to subscribe and add me on Snapchat at Sumi Appleberries, because that is my main platform that I use to converse with my subscribers. And I'll see you beautiful internet people next time. 안녕히 계세요. That is a vocabulary word. 안녕히 계세요 means goodbye.